In January 2025, Los Angeles faced one of the most devastating wildfire disasters in its history. Relentless flames, driven by fierce Santa Ana winds, tore through the region with unprecedented ferocity. Entire neighborhoods were reduced to smoldering ruins, as over 10,000 structures were destroyed. The fires claimed the lives of 11 individuals and forced 180,000 residents to flee their homes in search of safety. The destruction spread rapidly, consuming vast swaths of land, including multi-million-dollar homes in Pacific Palisades and historical landmarks like the Will Rogers Ranch. The city's air grew thick with choking smoke, casting an apocalyptic orange glow over the skyline. Emergency shelters overflowed with displaced families recounting harrowing escapes from the encroaching flames, while firefighters worked tirelessly against the advancing infernos, often collapsing from sheer exhaustion. The impact extended beyond human tragedy, with wildlife habitats destroyed and animals seeking refuge in suburban backyards. Streets once bustling with life were eerily silent, save for the hum of fire trucks and helicopters battling the flames. Despite the immense efforts of emergency services, the fires moved faster than containment efforts, leaving communities devastated and the region grappling with an overwhelming sense of loss and despair. Amidst the chaos of the January 2025 wildfires in Los Angeles, 18-year-old Barron Trump, traveling with his family for engagements in California, found himself captivated by the unfolding disaster. As the flames consumed neighborhoods and landmarks, Barron closely followed news reports and social media updates, driven by a growing curiosity. While most people focused on the scale of destruction, Barron noticed something unusual. The ignition points of the fires appeared to follow a distinct pattern. Intrigued by this peculiarity, he began mapping the reported fire sites, using publicly available data from news outlets and fire department reports. The more he analyzed the data, the clearer the trajectory became. It was not random, as natural wildfires often are, but deliberate, almost as though the ignition points had been orchestrated. Sharing his findings with his parents, he was encouraged to pursue his investigation cautiously. However, his attempts to involve local authorities and experts met with skepticism, as officials, overwhelmed by the crisis, dismissed his theories. Undeterred by the lack of support, Barron delved deeper into the data, convinced that the fires were not just a natural calamity, but a calculated act. This realization would lead him into a web of secrets and danger. Despite Barron Trump's growing conviction that the wildfires in Los Angeles were part of a deliberate, non-random pattern, his attempts to share his findings with local authorities were met with skepticism. As the fires ravaged the city in January 2025, officials were overwhelmed by the scale of the disaster, and they had little time or patience for theories from an 18-year-old. Many dismissed Barron's observations as mere coincidences, chalking up the unusual fire patterns to the unpredictable nature of wildfire. Undeterred by the lack of support, Barron's determination only grew stronger. While his parents, though preoccupied with their own commitments, encouraged his curiosity, they advised caution. Barron reached out to fire experts and local authorities, but his inquiries were largely ignored or dismissed. In some cases, he was assured that professionals were handling the crisis, and that his theories were unworthy of serious attention. Despite the resistance, Barron refused to let his observations go unexplored. He began to investigate on his own, digging deeper into the data and evidence. His curiosity and belief that there was more to the fires than met the eye propelled him forward, setting him on a path that would lead him to uncover dark secrets, even as he faced mounting resistance and danger. As Barron Trump delved deeper into the January 2025 wildfires, his investigation began to uncover troubling evidence, suggesting that the fires were not entirely natural. While analyzing online forums and social media, he discovered drone footage from an area near Pasadena that captured a small, bright flare falling from the sky moments before flames erupted. Although grainy, the video hinted at an unnatural ignition source, reinforcing Barron's suspicion of deliberate involvement. Eyewitness accounts added weight to his theory. Residents reported seeing drones hovering over properties shortly before fires ignited, along with unmarked utility trucks and strange explosions during the night. One woman shared photos of burned sites with scorch marks forming perfect circles, raising further questions about the methods used to start the fire. As Barron pieced together the evidence, a new pattern emerged. He investigated land purchases in areas devastated by the fires and found that properties had been quietly acquired by shell companies, including one named Solvista Holdings. These companies had paid inflated prices for high-risk land, an unusual move given the destruction caused by the fire. The deeper Barron dug, the clearer it became that the wildfires might have been orchestrated for financial gain, setting the stage for a shocking revelation. As Barron Trump's investigation into the 2025 Los Angeles wildfires deepened, his discoveries began to draw unwanted attention. His mapping of ignition points and findings about suspicious land purchases by shell companies like Solvista Holdings painted a disturbing picture. However, the more he uncovered, the more dangerous the situation became. A cryptic message appeared in response to his online posts. "You are closer to the truth than you think. Be careful who you trust." Determined to expose the truth, Barron reached out to Linda Moreno, a respected investigative journalist known for uncovering corruption. Linda listened carefully as Barron laid out the connections between the fires, deliberate ignition patterns, and land acquisitions. Recognizing the gravity of his findings, Linda agreed to help. Using her sources, she obtained internal documents from Solvista Holdings that detailed plans to expedite redevelopment in fire-affected areas. These documents implicated Solvista executives in intentionally orchestrating the destruction to clear land for profit. As the evidence mounted, so did the risks. A black SUV was spotted tailing Barron, his hotel room was ransacked, and his belongings were stolen. A chilling note left behind warned, "Stop digging." Despite the escalating threats, Barron and Linda pressed on, aware that the stakes had grown higher than the investigation into the January 2025 Los Angeles wildfires culminated in a stunning revelation. Solvista Holdings, a shell corporation, was at the heart of a scheme to profit from the destruction. Barron Trump and journalist Linda Moreno unearthed damning evidence implicating the company in orchestrating the fires to clear land for redevelopment. Documents obtained by Linda revealed internal emails from Solvista executives discussing accelerated timelines for rebuilding, payouts to complicit officials, and the deliberate use of drones to ignite fires in targeted areas. The evidence left little doubt that the wildfires were not a natural disaster, but a calculated act of greed. Solvista's CEO, Victor Grayson, was shown to have long-standing ties to energy and real estate firms, as well as a history of environmental violations. The exposé, published through a respected investigative outlet, detailed the deliberate destruction of communities for profit. The public response was immediate and furious. Protests erupted outside Solvista's headquarters, and federal authorities launched a comprehensive investigation into the company and its executives. For Barron, the fallout from exposing Solvista Holdings was both personal and profound. While his efforts were praised by many, they also attracted intense media scrutiny and dangerous. His role in uncovering the scheme made him a target of harassment and intimidation. His hotel room was ransacked, with a chilling note warning him to stop digging. The same black SUV that had been tailing him earlier became a symbol of the growing danger surrounding. Barron's actions cost him his safety and privacy. His family arranged for him to relocate to a secure location to escape the mounting threats. Yet, despite these challenges, Barron refused to back. In rare public appearances, he spoke passionately about the need for truth and accountability. His bravery inspired others to come forward with their own stories and evidence, adding momentum to the growing demand for justice. The revelations about Solvista Holdings sparked sweeping reforms in wildfire management and corporate accountability. Legislation was passed to tighten regulations on land acquisitions in high-risk areas, ensuring stricter oversight and transparency. A task force was established to investigate the use of drones and other technologies in criminal activities, preventing similar schemes in the future. Solvista Holdings' assets were frozen, and several of its executives faced criminal charges. Although Victor Grayson fled the country to evade prosecution, his name became synonymous with greed and corruption. Barron's experience profoundly shaped his future. He emerged as a vocal advocate for environmental justice and corporate responsibility, using his platform to inspire others to fight corruption. While the wildfires caused unimaginable destruction, Barron's efforts brought about meaningful change and exposed the dark forces exploiting disasters for profit. In the months that followed, Barron reflected on the cost of standing up for the truth. Though his life would never return to normal, he found solace in the lives he had impacted and the reforms he had helped inspire. His story became a powerful reminder of the importance of courage and conviction in the face of greed and injustice.